Hi kids, today we're going to read about George's friend from the incredible Peppa Pig collection, which contains 50 Peppa storybooks, and this is one of them. So let's begin. Peppa and her friends are having lots of fun on the playground today. Peppa's on the roundabout with Susie Sheep and Danny Dog. George is playing in the sandpit with Mummy Pig. Rebecca Rabbit and her little brother Richard Rabbit arrive. Richard has brought his toy dinosaur. "Hello everyone," says Rebecca. "Please, can you play on the roundabout too?" "Hop on, Rebecca," says Daddy Pig. "Let's go really fast," says Rebecca. Richard wants to go on the roundabout with his big sister. Peppa signs. "If Richard gets on, it means we can go fast." "Richard, perhaps you'd like to play with George instead," says Mummy Rabbit. "No," says Richard. "George has a dinosaur just like yours," says Mummy Rabbit. "Let's go and see." Richard is the same age as George, and they both love dinosaurs. "Richard wanted to see George's dinosaur," says Mummy Rabbit. "Rrrr, dinosaur," roars George. George and Richard both giggle. "George, can Richard play with your dinosaur?" asks Mummy Pig. "No," says George. "Richard, can George play with your dinosaur?" asks Mummy Rabbit. "No," says Richard. George and Richard do not want to share their dinosaurs. Mummy Rabbit gives both dinosaurs to George. George laughs and Richard starts to cry. Then Mummy Pig gives both dinosaurs to Richard. Richard laughs and George starts to cry. "George and Richard always cry when they play together," says Peppa. "Can you two big girls teach them how to play together?" asks Mummy Rabbit. Peppa and Rebecca take George and Richard to the sandpit. The girls show their brothers how to make sandcastles. George uses his spade to squash Richard's sandcastle. Richard cries. Richard uses his spade to squash George's sandcastle. George cries. This game has not gone very well. "George, what's your favorite thing in the whole playground?" asks Mummy Pig. "Seesaw," shouts George. George sits on one end of the seesaw, but it needs someone on the other end. Richard wants to play on the seesaw too. Mummy Rabbit lifts Richard onto the seesaw. George and Richard go up and down on the seesaw. "George and Richard are playing together," cheers Peppa. George likes Richard. Richard likes George. George and Richard like playing together. The end. So this is it. Hope you enjoyed it.